Hello, this is Felt Buzz. I'm going to be reading to you a serial that I'm writing. It's a freewrite serial. I've got 5 parts written so far, so I'm going to read the 5 parts for you. Okay. This is called The Man with the Umbrella. There was something wrong about the man with the umbrella. It was the way he held it. He wasn't like the others in the street who were actually using theirs to prevent the large water droplets that fell in sheets from the sky from getting them drenched. It was also the way he wasn't getting wet. And the way he was looking at me, staring at me rather. His expression was difficult to read. Was it hatred? Victory? Relief? Perhaps it was all of these things. Or none of them. On his wrist was a device that looked like an ordinary wristwatch, of the type that people used to wear before the age of smartphones and watches. He was fiddling with it. As I watched, I saw something around the man flicker. That was no ordinary watch. As the illusion field around the man fell away into nothing, I realised what was wrong about the man with the umbrella. It was not a man at all. And what he carried was not in any way an umbrella. I took a deep breath and turned and ran as if my life depended on it. Which, of course, it did. When most people think of aliens, they think of little green or grey men. Ask most people to draw a picture of the most savage and dangerous alien in all the known universes. It is unlikely they would draw a picture of a polar bear. However, to a human at least, and at the moment that was the body I was wearing, the Shavzars looked exactly like that. A bit like the real polar bears, they look kind of cute. That is, until you get up close and they rip off your head. As far as the Shavzars are concerned, they don't need to get that close. Their telekinesis powers are pretty advanced. They can rip a man or a woman's Shavzars are equal opportunity killers head off from 100 feet away, which is why I was running as fast as I could from the creature. The people around me didn't notice they were sharing a busy and wet street with a large alien that looked like a polar bear disguised as a city gent holding an umbrella. But they were more than a little annoyed at the madman running amongst them, pushing them out of the way, shouting, "Fuck!" "Over here!" The voice of a woman, shouting above the noise of "I say" and "Do you minds?" and "So rude" and "Language" from the members of the human race I was barging out of the way in my haste to escape the vicious, murdering polar bear alien thing that was chasing me. Have you ever tried to locate the sound of someone calling your name while you're screaming "Fuck" at the top of your voice, pushing your way through a crowd who just don't see why they should let the rude man through, whilst being chased by a psychotic alien bear with telekinetic powers without slowing down? I can tell you, it's not easy. Eventually, I found her. I could hear the Shavzar's feet pounding the ground behind me. Hopefully he was over 100 feet away, or I was dead meat. Literally. She was up high, standing on the 4th floor of what looked like a multi-storey car park, and she was holding what looked like a bunch of black and white balloons. They weren't what they seemed, of course. She was hanging over the concrete ledge, smiling at me, beckoning me with her free hand. And I mean free hand. That is, the hand that was, at the moment anyway, not attached to her body. Marzi is such a bloody show-off. She always was so much better at controlling the bodies she's inhabited and manipulating them to get the best out of them. The human body I wore was just thrown on like an ill-fitting suit from one of the charity shops that seemed to be so popular in this part of the earth. "Up here, arsehole!" she called cheerfully. Then, "He's gaining on you, you know. I think you've got about 5 seconds before he's in range, takes your ugly head off." The last time I saw Marzi, we were taking a little holiday on one of the new Ice World adventure moons that her daddy owned. He had a string of them across 2 or 3 universes. I'm not sure why Marzi invited me, unless it was to shag me senseless every night and then ritually humiliate me the next day during ridiculously physical activities. Of course, it could have been equally for my sparkling wit and conversation. Marzi! I shout. Or it was a shout in my mind. In reality, with the stupid human coat I was wearing, it came out rather like a wet fart of a pant. What? She shouted. The balloons were not balloons bouncing in the wind. Do you need a hand, arsehole? I nodded as I ran, and my human head wobbled alarmingly. It was in danger of coming off, I realised. I'd been in a bit of a rush when I arrived on the planet. I'd not chosen a well-fitting human body, and I was not attached as it should be. Must have missed a button somewhere. But in a different way to Marzi's hand that came whooshing down towards me, it arrived within a couple of metres of me, balled into a fist, rotated, and the middle finger rose up. Trust Marzi to give me a finger at a time like this. I haven't got time for this shit, my mind shouted. Ha ha ha! Marzi mind laughed back at me, and then the fingers of her hand opened to what revealed to what looked like a crumpled dead leaf. Looks, as you might be coming to realise, can be very, very deceptive. That's all the 5 parts that I've written so far. If you're interested in what happens next, you can catch up on my Steemit blog. I'll probably write another one tomorrow. I don't know. Who knows? All right. Cheers. Thanks for watching, reading, whatever you've been doing. Thank you. Bye.